How you guys doing? Welcome back to the channel. I know it has been a while since I put a video up, but there's good reason for that. I'm currently on vacation, so we're just kind of enjoying our time. I've really been home. You really can't go too many places, so we haven't actually went on an actual trip for vacation, but we've been just hanging around the house, and I've been really riding a vehicle that I purchased pretty much every day, just kind of going around town, having a good time. And that's why I'm wearing this silly apparatus you see here, because I'm going to take you for a ride on it as well. And we're going to get right to it. I purchased from a company called Fluid Freeride down in Miami a Mantis Pro electric kick scooter. And I've been debating on going with like an electric bike or an electric scooter for quite a while, and I decided that this was the one for me. I feel is going to best suit my size. I'm 6'5", 210 pounds. Maximum rider weight on this is 265, and this one has a nice little riser bar here. Also a longer neck or stem, whatever you'd call it, than the other models. So it gets this up nice and high for me. I can tell you that it is very, very comfortable to ride. It's super stable. It weighs about 65 pounds. As you can imagine, the majority of the weight is right here in the floorboard where the battery is housed. You have electric motors in the rear and the front, and you have a control that you can actually select single or dual motor. So you can actually have it just run in rear wheel drive, or you can have it run with both wheels. You'll also notice that you do have disc brakes both on the back and the front. They are hydraulic on this model. They do make a non-pro variant that has mechanical disc brakes, but this one is a hydraulic. And you have, you can see little shock absorbers here. This does have front and rear suspension. So it takes the bumps, real well, actually. It handles fantastic. It's funny, when I first started riding it, it's awkward, right? But as you put a little bit more miles on, you get a little used to it, it gets super easy. And we're gonna take it for a ride now, so I'm gonna show you. Before we do that though, I just wanna mention that when it comes in a box, it's like 99% put together for the most part, right? So there's a quick release here, 2 of them on each side, and when you undo these quick releases, this collar lifts up, and this whole stem is gonna basically fold down to this little latch here, and this hook latches onto here. So that's how you can actually fold it down, lift it up, put it in the car, or transport it, whatever you need to do. So that you have to do when you first get it out of the box. The other thing you have to do is take out these 4 bolts and this little plate and put the handlebar on. So the handlebar is basically all assembled. It's just in the box. When you lift everything up, you put the handlebar in place, you tighten it down with these 4 bolts, and they actually give you the tool that you need to do it. This gives you a whole bunch of different Allen keys and different tools that you would need for different portions of the scooter, and that came with it. Along in the box, you get the instructions, of course, and you get the charger, and that's pretty much that. Before we go, if I can tell you the 2 things that I found that I think are somewhat of a flaw on it, which to me it's no big deal, but these little bolt covers, I don't know if you can see with the light there, these little bolt covers basically go over the bolts that hold the wheels on, and I've already lost 2. They pop off. To me, it's not really a big deal. I don't care that they're not on there, so I don't put them on. I leave them off. That's one thing. And then the other thing I kind of figured out myself, because I noticed that this rubber mat kind of peels up super easy on both sides. And I think what it is, and I don't know for sure, but it looks like it's glued down the center, and it's not connected here. This way you can access screws and then pull tape, and I imagine the battery is under this. And this would just allow you to do that without taking this completely off. So that's something that I thought was a problem, but actually I think I solved it myself as far as what it actually is, why it's actually like that. Other than that, I'm going to pop this camera in this holder here. We're going to go for a ride, and I'm going to show you and talk to you a little bit more about it. So you basically hop on, you get your kickstand up. You have a power button here that you're just going to press and hold power, turns on the display. And then there's multiple things I'll talk to you about this, but the most important thing right off the bat, if I hit this throttle, it does nothing. I have to actually kick off and move before you can accelerate. It's a good safety feature to have. That can be turned off in the settings, along with a whole bunch of other things that you can change. So for instance, this has torque settings and top speed settings, and you can limit how much power it has. It also has regenerative braking and ABS, which you can turn on or off, and have to the multiple levels. Like the regenerative braking actually has 3 different levels, weak, medium, or strong. I actually have it on medium. So what happens there is you start to apply brake, it actually does regenerative braking along with, I guess, the actual hydraulic brakes, or maybe before the hydraulic calipers kick in. I'm not sure, but it seems to work. You'll also notice right now I am doing about 13 miles an hour. I am in single mode, eco, and I'm in gear 2. So you could adjust the gears, and that's another good feature, because if you have it in gear 1, the top speed it'll hit is about 5 miles an hour. If you have it in gear 2, it'll do about 12. And right now I'm in gear 3 and I'm right at 19, which is the scooter speed limit for my, my particular state. Just as I coast down this hill here, I'll tell you, this thing is an absolute blast to ride. It is so much fun. It's completely stable. And to give you an idea, when I first started doing this, I was trying to take a picture while I was riding. I couldn't take my hand off the handlebar. And now I can literally ride one-handed, you know, with ease. I don't know that I would do that at any major speed, but if you had to reach in your pocket or something like that, it's not all that bad to do it. In the very beginning, that wasn't the case. And it takes a little bit of practice just to get used to how it handles. I put myself in turbo mode, dual motor. So now I have actually max speed settings, and I did it so when I climb this hill, I can show you that I can climb it with ease. And this was the first hill I climbed when I first rode the scooter, and I was curious how it would handle it. You know, you wonder, you're gonna have the power to climb to get up the hills in the area where I live. And it doesn't disappoint. I mean, it's amazing actually how well this little vehicle accelerates. We have another big downhill we're gonna hit, and then I'm gonna climb right back up that to show you that as well. All right, so here's the big downhill. And as you see, as we coast, we're gonna pick up speed pretty quick. Now, what you gotta do with this, when you first start riding a scooter, is you gotta learn how to weight shift. You gotta lean back as you brake. You wanna lean forward on top of that front wheel as you accelerate. Reason being, if you're leaning forward and you hit the brakes, it does feel like you're gonna go right over the handlebars. As you lean back, you don't get that sensation. So it just gives you more control, more confidence. Now, you saw that downhill and how long that was. It's gonna turn around and go right back up. And as you can see, I mean, it's a beast. Climbs up it with ease. And I was very impressed with this. Now, they say for range, you're gonna get about 30 miles in eco mode, 40 miles in eco mode, 45 miles in eco mode. I think it's 45 miles in eco mode, about 30 miles, in turbo mode, top speed mode. Now, again, that depends on the terrain. It depends on the weight of the rider, all that sort of stuff. I can tell you I have, let me go to my mode button here. I have about 137, 138 miles on this as of now that I put on since I got it. And, you know, most of it's been just around the area here that I've been cruising. And I can tell you that it's been great. I've been, you know, you go out for 45 minutes or so, 50 minutes and kind of just cruise around, you know, all different levels of performance, hills, things like that. And when I get home after maybe a 14, 15 mile ride, I'm still in the 80s as far as percent of battery life. So I'm really confident that you'd get that range. And if you're on flat ground, you're probably gonna do a lot, you know, you're definitely gonna get that range out of it. Right now I'm just using the one back brake. They are a little squeaky sometimes, and sometimes the calipers rub the pads, and then sometimes they don't. So I don't know whether that's something that it's like maybe the pad sticks a little or something like that, or I don't exactly know why that happens. I didn't dive into it all, but there are times that you'll hear those brakes rubbing, and then there's other times 5 minutes later that they don't. Such a beautiful day here today. Temperatures are upper 90s, sun is shining, but when you're scooting around on your scooter, you know, you get the wind hitting you in the face. It's a very enjoyable experience. I actually like cruising around these roads around here because they're very quiet. Not many cars parked on the street. A lot of them are freshly paved. So you kind of just cruise around and have fun. Does anybody out there have a scooter like this, or an electric bike, or an electric skateboard, like a boosted board? Where do you guys ride? Anybody have anything? Let me know. Be curious to see what your thoughts are on what you have and how you like it and that sort of thing. Look at my speed. The sign is correct. We're both doing 19. The throttle can be a little touchy. Like you'll see right there, if I press it down, it kind of pulls away from you a little bit. Again, if you get into that lean, where you lean back a little, you could accelerate and not let it get away from you there. The suspension is soaking up all these little bumps. I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great built product. And I'm really glad I bought it. Here's another nice little hill. You can see you just, you know, scoot right up it, no issues. In order to make this video, I had a chest strap for the GoPro for quite a while. I never really used it for anything, but what I picked up was a Rode lavalier microphone and a little GoPro adapter. This way, I could hopefully get this footage without a lot of wind noise. Right now, at 20 miles an hour, the wind noise that, you know, I'm hearing is tremendous. I'm hoping on camera it's not that bad. I did a couple of test videos, and 2 times it was good, 1 time it wasn't. I don't know if it wasn't plugged in all the way, but I'm hoping the audio will be good. If you're watching this far, it's good. One of my biggest pet peeves about YouTube videos is when there's all that wind noise and popping and stuff in the background. This makes it very annoying to watch. Got another big hill here. Just to show people what this scooter is all about, I'm gonna go up it. This is sort of like a just a normal guy review. Not bad. Cruise up that hill, no problem. Okay, that burnout. Oh, you know what I can talk about that I just remembered? The brake levers. So I did a lot of mountain biking growing up, and I feel like my brake levers, the one on the right side was always for the back brake, the one on the left was always for the front, and this is the opposite of that. So that did take a little getting used to, as far as the levers, in my opinion, being switched. So the left one here is for the back, the right one's for the front. I'm thinking that's just like a motorcycle, because on a motorcycle, the front brake, I guess, would be on the right and the clutch would be on the left, and then your foot brake would be the rear. I'm not 100% sure about that either. I'm gonna learn that real soon, because actually next month I'm taking the motorcycle course to get my motorcycle license, which would mean I may actually end up getting another vehicle to have some fun on. But that's for future future time, maybe next year or something like that. I kind of just want to take the course, get the license, and you know, just have it. One of the main reasons I wanted a scooter rather than the electric bike, because I was looking at some like folding bikes and things like that, was just basically for transportation, or being able to transport it rather. So for instance, we have the Chevy Volt and the Chevy Bolt, the two electric cars. And the thought process is, like, I go to my sister's house down the Jersey Shore, there's like a Ford store about 4 miles away where I usually plug the car in. And a lot of times I'll plug it in, I'll jog back to the house or whatever. But in this case, I can go somewhere. If I see that there's a charging location somewhere in the distance, I can plug the car in, take the scooter back to wherever I'm staying, and go back when the car is fully charged. Among a bunch of other things. Really, it's just a fun toy. I don't remember if I mentioned earlier, it's about 2,200 bucks is what I paid for this. I bought it from a company called Fluid Freeride. They're out of Miami. My buddy bought one as well, and they got a lot of 5-star reviews. The service is, you know, their reputation is great. And my buddy already experienced that because he bought one the same time I did, and he had some issues with his charging device. And with a couple emails and a couple DMs, they ended up shipping out a new charger for him because the one he had was giving him problems. So that's the kind of reputation you want with a company. You want to make sure you buy something that's, you know, you could actually, you know, you can actually get in touch with somebody if you have any kind of an issue. The suspension is definitely really a nice feature to have on this too, because I drove one of these down in DC, or I should say I rode one down in DC, you know, one of those Lime rentals or whatever it was, and like every single bump like got rattled right through you. This, I can hit all these little sidewalk slabs, and you know, it takes a lot of the abuse out of the ride. See how the brakes are making noise now, but they weren't before? That's what I don't get. And what you'll hear is that that'll actually stop after using the brakes a little bit. It sort of goes away. They also squeak a little. I've made no adjustments to the brakes or anything like that, so you know, it's just basically as it was out of the box. And he sees me, so I can go. Just gonna go up here, turn around, hit that big hill we went up before, and head back home. I hope you enjoyed the ride. If you have any questions about the scooter, I'll do my best to answer them. Just drop them in the comments. Again, I got about 143 miles now. So I got, you know, about a week and a half's worth of riding under my belt. So I did learn a little bit in that process. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. And again, check out the website for the company. It'll be down in the description. There's all different scooters for all different needs. I went with this one because what I feel it's just the best option, best performance, and most easiest to transport, you know, if need be. So anyway, cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. I'll be back at the dealership soon, and we will continue the dealership life and Chevrolet product videos once I get there. Have a good one.